All right, we are live. We think we're live. I don't know if we're going to have technical difficulties, but Nuno, knowing our relationship and our friendship, there's 100% chance there's going to be technical difficulties. So, for those of you that are watching or listening, now there's a companion. You can watch on Facebook. You can listen on, of course, if you're listening on iTunes podcast app, the Raheel Show Podcast. I'm gonna let this build up a little bit. Let's see if the audience works. David, make sure the link is good.
So I went to your Facebook page. I don't see the post yet. So
Okay,
as everything we do, it's awkward when we start.
It's up there. I see it
on Raheel Ramzanali's page or the old Granado show.
The Raheel Show Podcast.
Last thing I see is Anil Jamal Sohani. Did I say that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the last thing I see. But does it really matter? If
it's up.
It out,
whoa, it looks good, David. It looks good.
It does look good?
It looks really good.
Pretty good.
So just search the Raheel Show Podcast and you will find it.
Oh, it's on the Raheel, not on yours. Gotcha.
No, I changed my ESPN page to my Raheel Show Podcast.
Oh, don't remind me of what happened this week.
Hold on, let me just make sure it sounds good.
Oh, I see you, little buddy.
Hey, okay, this is good. We're good. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, I don't know how to get the link, though. It's not letting me have the link. Okay, that's awkward.
Why don't you just share it to your page?
It's not letting me, but whatever. We'll figure that out.
It's not letting you share it?
No, that's all right. We'll talk. Let's just talk first, and as you're talking, I'll be able to
send you the link. I'm gonna send you the link.
All right,
I got you. Do you want me to text it to you or Gmail?
You can Gmail it to me. Let's actually give the show. We got 14 viewers. I don't know why.
I know. I will get them. Hold on, because I want to make sure. Boom, link, buddy. We are about to. We'll start it. We'll start here.
So while you're talking, let me explain this. So my good buddy Sean Hicks was doing a podcast recently on boxing, and like the dude's not on television, he's not on radio, he's a guy, and I love the guy, right? He's a buddy of mine, and I saw him using this awesome little service, and I'm like, dude, Raheel, you and I with our little fake cameras, and it's dying. Like, how has Sean figured out how to do a video podcast and we can't? Last week we did a fake one. Why do I hear myself in the background, Raheel? What are you doing?
Did you click on the link?
No, I didn't click on the link.
Oh, I don't know.
All right. Well,
you sound perfect.
Oh, I feel like I hear stuff in the background, but it doesn't matter. Bottom line is, I'm happy to do this with you. This is cool, and I don't even know what else to talk about, so I just went in an awkward, different direction. But on your Facebook page, people can ask us questions. They can interact with us. We're going to go over what happened with you at 97.5. I was about to say 97.9 the box, but 97.5.
No. So, yeah, I see everyone's comments. We are live. We are rolling. As I talk, David, you can share the link. So let me just start up. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening to the Raheel Show Podcast. I'm excited to be still doing this. I will get to the big news from the week. I just want to thank a few people real quickly. Listener Drake, he sent the new intro music that you hear on the audio version of this podcast, available everywhere and on iTunes podcast app, everywhere you can listen to it. Big ups to Anchor FM, the new home for the Raheel Show Podcast here in the future. And if you want to donate to the Raheel Show Podcast, open up your Venmo account, find at Raheel Podcast, and donate what you want. If you don't, it's not a big deal. I don't care. Not a problem at all. So earlier this week, David, the big news, I called you on a certain day in the week when I told you I found out that I was being let go by ESPN 97.5. So if people are tuning in right now for pissed off Raheel or controversial Raheel, like, oh my gosh, is he going to roast the station and all that stuff? No. I'm not, because the truth of the matter is, this was a decision truly impacted by one thing, and that was COVID-19. Look, everyone is in a tough state right now. 30+ million people have lost their jobs, David. We know the economic impact from all of this, and it was only a matter of time before it reached sports radio when there's no sports. It's hard. I knew it was going to be bad, because when the March Madness tournament, when the NCAA tournament was canceled, that was a huge portion of our income for this quarter. When that went away, I knew things were going to get bad. I was like, this is it. People are going to get laid off. Did I ever think it was going to be me? No. I don't think anybody thinks that, right? You always feel like you're good enough to make it and people love you enough and all that.
Raheel,
yeah, it's hard.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, first off, yes, what you're living is what most of the United States is going through, right? Everybody is either knows somebody unemployed in their family or is related to. You and I are a little different. You're definitely much more optimistic than I am. Even when I do something right, I wonder if I'm going to get fired. Every day of my life is like, is this the day? Is this the day that they lay me off? Is this the day that my vote shot didn't make air and it's over? It's been a good run. Nice 9 years at Channel 13 or 8 years. But yeah, you're always optimistic. You always have a great attitude about things. One of the things I was reading through some of the comments on Twitter about you when you were, trying to generate as much interest from your followers as possible. Well, it's just how much people respect not only your hustle, but how you treat everyone. People always use that line, like how you treat the janitors the same way you treat the CEO. And that is truly a reflection of who you are. Like you don't do fake conversation. I will fake talk somebody. Oh yeah, I'm really interested. And I'm not listening to anything they're saying. You actually listen, you take notes, you apply that. I think regardless of the economic situation, any company without Raheel Ramzanali is a worse company. But I understand it. Like it's going to happen. It can happen to any of us. We're not that we're all replaceable, but sports is a commodity, and it's for a long time there's been very limited sports to talk about. But the Raheel, the person, the one that we call Uncle Raheel at my house, and as some people have called him Raheem on the radio in the years past, it was just I was upset, but I also understand the situation.
Yeah. By the way, is there any chance I correct that guy in the press box that my name is Raheel?
Never. No.
There's a guy that has been calling me Raheem since 2007, and I will never correct him because I feel bad.
Is he the little short guy?
Yeah, from the Spanish station.
Yeah. He's kind of like our buddy Juan, but shaved up nice. Yeah,
never gonna tell him. Look, it sucked, man. I thought I was gonna be okay for another month or so. When I talked to my wife, when I internally, I knew that June 1st was going to be an important date because June 1st is when we discussed as a station, like we're going to reevaluate everything, figure this out. But of course, life comes at you fast. I was let go. Barry Lamnack was also let go. I had a great time there. I loved working at that station. I loved working on that show with John Granado, with Dell. Then Lance joined the show later on, and they got that thing rekindled. So it was a blast, man. For the time I was doing the show, it reminded me of back in 1560, the game days where I was working with friends. I was working with people that I truly enjoyed working with, and we had a lot of laughs, and nobody got upset at each other. We didn't take ourselves too seriously, which was always the key for me, because I think sports radio got way too serious. I think people just take themselves way too serious now. So it was fun, man. It was a blast, and who knows what happens afterwards. A lot of people ask me, hey, you're going to go back when the economy turns around? And I don't know, man. I don't know if there's going to be money. I think this is going to take a long time to rebuild as an economy with the sponsors that sponsor sports radio. It's going to take a long time. So who knows, man? We'll see what happens. But as of right now, no, there are no plans to go back. And people are saying, what's your next step? What's your, what's the future plans for you? And the future plans are, David, everyone's in a hiring freeze. So who knows? When the time is right, when jobs open up, I hope I get an interview and all that. But until then, I'm going to be doing this podcast as much as I can. And I'll be bringing on guests like you, David, one of my best friends. And we'll just be talking life, entertainment, maybe some sports, who knows? But things are okay. And the wildest thing, David, that night, and I didn't think this was going to happen, but when I tweeted out at 6:55 p.m. that I was leaving ESPN 97.5, within the hour, I was the #1 trending topic in Houston.
You even took a screenshot of that and sent it to me, and I'm going to haze you for that for the rest of your life. But it's pretty cool. I've only trended once in my history, and I'm not going to bring up why, but if you remember this night. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
The haircut?
The haircut. I was trending that night.
You were for real?
Oh my God! Yeah, there was screenshots of it. David Nuno's hair trending in Houston. It was not good.
No way.
Yeah, it was the bad day.
I knew that.
Nobody from Channel 13 is listening right now.
I knew the haircut thing happened, but I didn't know it trended that night. You never told me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I tried to stay off social media, and I was getting phone. But let's not make this about me. That was the worst day ever.
It was a positive. I'm sure people were just like, "This is awesome! What a great
What is
haircut!"
up with his hair? And hey, bro, do you see your hair? Yeah, I saw it. It's not good.
So when that started happening, man, that was very cool because in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Hey guys, I think you made the wrong decision." Like you,
Real, they did make the wrong decision.
yeah,
They did.
Yeah,
but again, not because. And I'm sorry to interrupt. It's not because somebody else needed to go or anything. I'm just talking about my feelings towards you as a coworker, colleague, friend, and what you bring to the table. But look, it's the reality of the world we're in right now, right?
Yeah.
Great people are losing their jobs. People who, and it's just, companies have to make a decision. Unfortunately, it was your time. It could be all of our time at some point.
Yeah.
But you will be an upgrade to whatever company you join next. And, I'm going to do everything in my power to, not that I have no power for the record, I have zero, but everything in my power to help promote your name and what you bring to the table. Because I think you are the most creative and talented guy in the market.
Thank you.
And a bit creepy.
Dude, I'm getting lit up right now on the Facebook comments for my hair and my beard. What do you guys want me to do? What do I need a haircut for? What do I need to shave for?
Well, I didn't shave either, but you need to dress more like me if you want to be a TV guy. Let me show you my outfit, Raheel. You'll like this.
Let me see this.
Take a look. How you like these shorts? Michael Jordan 19. Yeah, look at that. I don't even think you. I don't. There you go. Shorts, no shoes, no socks. Did TV like this a few minutes ago. Yeah, I'll get me fired too. So maybe I'll be doing a show with you.
Is there a part of you that when you do the show from home that you do want to like make sure you go viral? Like how, so many people have gone viral now from working from home, from the broadcast industry.
Yep.
The guy who was in his shorts, he went viral. There was one guy in Spain whose girlfriend was in the background.
I saw that, yeah.
That one was bad, but I think you should do it. I think you should what you need to do is have shorts and you've got to have some Jordans on because, we're always going to represent brand Jordan as long as
we are.
As long as somebody's there, but you need to represent and go viral for that.
Now, viral is always good for the station. They really appreciate clicks and what it does for our brand because we have some great reporters and stuff. I'm trying to not fly under the radar because that's how you get fired. Not fly too above the radar. I just want to be on the radar, right?
Yeah, you want to be like, you just want to be a normal flight where they know you're coming in and, hey, David Nuno's on the radar. We're good. You don't want to be.
We know the sports is coming at 9 and 10 tonight. We know that it's going to be taken care of. And then he's going to have some home runs. I've had some home runs during COVID, and I've also had some misses. But, as long as we can. Why are we talking about me? It's about you.
No, it's about both of us because we're both on this show together. You don't want to be the Blue Angels. Like everyone loves the Blue Angels, right? Oh, it's the coolest thing ever. But when it was going down, there were people like, wait, why are they wasting money on the gas here, on the fuel? Can this go to other people? You don't want to be the Blue Angels because people love you. But once you're above the radar, that's where the hate comes in.
Yeah, you don't want to be too popular, right?
No. But you also don't want to be JetBlue because JetBlue did a flyover in New York. And it was kind of under the radar, and people were like, "What are you guys doing? Stop, JetBlue? Can you guys stop doing like a flyover for healthcare professionals? No one cares. You don't want to do that either." So it's a weird thing. You just want to be a normal flight to Denver. You're like, hey, it's a 9 o'clock flight to Denver.
So Raheel, I'm trying to think some of our most famous moments there at Gal Communications. Mr. Gal was great to me. And there's some great people over there. Dell, Granado, Lance that I worked with for years. A lot. Barry, I felt terrible for him. I feel great.
Yeah.
Joel and his family are still there, and the afternoon show, they're doing great. I mean, there's a lot of really good people there. But I think this is the time to kind of remember some of your biggest strikeouts at Gal. Let's see. I'm not going to get into the time you were suspended, but let's see. Didn't you if I remember correctly, when the show first started, The Scene, we did a show from Buffalo Wild Wings, and didn't you have like a verbal, not a real fight? I did the real fighting. Verbal fight with didn't we take over Timo's section of Buffalo Wild Wings?
It was Timo, yeah. It was our first show ever. 1560 the game. You and I had been friends for like a month, if that. And we were sold to do a show from Buffalo Wild Wings. We get to Buffalo Wild Wings in Rice Village, which, by the way, rest in peace. It's no longer there.
It's not there?
No, I drove by there in February. It was gone.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I have no social life because I work nights and weekends, so I
Mhm.
don't know. That's bad.
Yeah. So you and I roll up with a brand new radio station. Nobody knows who we are. We walk in. The Buffalo Wild Wings has no idea who we are, and they're like, "What are you guys doing here? Who are you people?" And then we finally get an area that was reserved for guys that were there on Sunday to watch football.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
that was the only seat left because they didn't know we were coming. So we roll up, we set up our equipment. The guys that had that original area, there was like a little patio by the not like a porch or a deck almost inside that was a little lifted up, right? Like in
Yeah,
the bar area. So Timo, who's a loyal listener and a friend of ours,
yeah.
he and his friends had reserved that, and they roll up and they're like, "Where's our seat?" What? And they get in a fight with the management. Then they come to us and they're like, "Hey, this was our area. Who are you guys?" And we're like, "Dude, sorry, it got a little heated there for a minute. Not gonna lie, it got heated." And then he became our biggest fan because he listened to the show.
You say the word fan. Fan, really? Like, do we really have
Yeah,
fans? We don't have fans.
we
We have
do
people
have
that like
fans.
us. Like, I don't know. Don't you feel weird when people, oh, I'm a big fan? What? No, I talk sports. Yeah,
I know.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. If you don't listen to me for sports, don't listen to you for sport. We're just here. Like our show was just, let's just talk. Let's just have fun.
Dude, I told you
Um,
last week, you look like a gamer. You're
I
like
know.
you just finished playing Fortnite. You're like, oh, I got to talk to David now.
Well, oh, speaking of game tangent, because that's what we're good at. Guess what I hooked up on Sunday with my brother?
VCR.
No, not. You should have taken the Earl Thomas joke there. What did you do with your brother, Earl Thomas? No. Uh,
Oh, yeah, hold on. I guess I didn't read the whole story. I've seen
oh,
tweets. Okay, so I've seen tweets. I don't know. I'm just not. Everybody's gonna get in trouble one day, right? It's kind of how I
oh,
feel about it. So, and I don't want to get into that topic because I'm still employed by Marvel and Disney, right? So
yeah.
I like. I don't want to get into. It's not the Hoppy Nuno Hoppy Raheel show, right? But I kept on seeing tweets about his brother, and I was like, was his brother there or something? And then the initial report was his brother was there,
Hmm.
like in a different area. And then I read other stuff on Twitter, and I just decided to avoid that story as much as possible.
Oh, it's not only was his brother there, David, his brother was in the bed with him.
I don't
That's
need the see.
I'm
That's
just
what I'm
letting you
trying to
know.
tell you.
I'm just letting you know. So on Sunday, I went to my dad's house, and this was the first time in a month and a half that we went inside their house. We would always drive by, we would hang out outside, social distancing, and I went inside and I took my old Nintendo NES
Okay.
and my Sega Genesis, and we
Oh,
played that for like 2 hours.
was it terrible but nostalgic?
It was all nostalgic. It was terrible. The graphics are so bad. Gameplay is so bad. The NES barely works. Like it only works, once every 10 times. But it was cool to play. We've come a long way as a society, as a gaming society. But yeah, it was pretty cool to like plug it in and see it work.
So I have played very little video games since I was turned 30, which was 13 years ago. Right,
Mhm.
I'm 43, so it's been a while. I've played FIFA with the kids sometimes, but that's about it. I don't play that much. But watching my kids play every video game that they play, the emotional roller coaster that they go on, the wanting, and it brings me. Even though I correct them, and I correct them a lot.
Yeah.
You can't get so mad. I remember playing Contra, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, back when I was a kid. Joe Montana's football, Lakers, Celtics, NBA Live, all these games, NBA Jam, and literally getting so mad at the game that I would get the remote and throw it as hard as I could towards the television. My TV had dents. My brother Alex would get so mad at me, and he put me in timeout once. I think I was 18. Um, it was so bad. And I watched them. They don't do anything near that, but it's so infuriating to watch them get so mad at this little Fortnite game with the Deadpool character that they use. And then I guess they play FIFA 2. That's about the two games they play. And they get, do you still get very upset when you play those games?
Not at all. That's why I stopped playing because in college, my senior year, in being in the broadcast program, like our finals, we didn't have finals. Our whole program was doing the news every week, and that we would get graded on that. So there were no finals. So I never had finals. So I would play video games, and specifically NBA 2K6. I
Okay.
would play that, and I would play with my roommates. I would always pick Kobe, of course. He would pick the Pistons. And when Chauncey Billups is hitting half court shots on the regular, like this wasn't a lucky shot,
Oh, that would bother me.
I was like, this game sucks. It's not real. It's just not real. So ever since then, when I threw a fit, I haven't touched. I if I put it on, if I put a game on, it's just to see what it's about. But no, I don't do that. I put my PS3 on the other day because I had that, and I played NBA 2K14. I turned it off in one half because I had the same issue. I was like, this isn't real. I'm getting frustrated because this is not what would happen in real life. So I turn it off before I get frustrated.
Well, it's kind of like you ever find yourself, you don't engage the way I do because you're smart and I'm not. Do you ever find yourself responding to people on social media and getting like actually worked up and you're like,
Yeah.
why the heck am I this guy with 9 followers who's got, some issues at home, let's just say, why am I engaging with him? Why do I care? My
It makes
famous
no
move.
sense.
No, but I get mad, and then I'm
Why?
like, I don't even know this dude.
That's
oh yeah,
it.
well, you know where I work. Oh yeah, I'm not hard to find either. Come on,
Like,
bro. Yeah, you are.
to me, it's not worth it on social media anymore. It's not worth it. I talked about this with one of my previous guests, Meredith, who works out in LA. She's an Instagram model, and she gets like really mean comments all the time from women, right? And she'll engage in it every once in a while, but it's like, why even do it? There's obviously there's something else happening. You're not going to resolve it for that person. So why even bother? Who cares? Let them make
Because
a
in the
fool.
moment, I have to have the last word. I have to.
You want the last word?
I
Mute
do.
their account. Mute their
All right.
account. Mute their account,
No,
and they'll just yell out into the void. They'll just yell to nowhere.
I can't. I wish, and it's going to get me in trouble one day. I have to respond. I have to
No,
be heard.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna work on that with you. Here's what you do: just don't respond. It's the best feeling in the world.
Have I ever not responded to anything?
Never, never, never.
It's like my poor wife is like when I'm like correcting the kids, I bring it up, and then like 7 minutes later, I bring it up again. And I said, "What were you thinking?" And then like she's like, "All right, you've already corrected them. Move on." I was like, "No, but I really want to understand your thinking. Like I have to say, it's in my body. I have to get it out."
I've been teaching my little daughter, my little baby trickster, how to ride her bike without training wheels, and
Not
she gets
easy.
frustrated. She gets frustrated. Now, when it comes to athletic competition, I used to get frustrated a lot, right? Because I would always expect more out of other people and expect more out of myself. So I would get frustrated. I don't get frustrated anymore as much. There are still times where I get mad and I'll throw a little pouty face, but my daughter has that trait where she gets frustrated like me with athletic stuff.
Is that in your refrigerator?
No, it's been here since the since the home. We bought the home.
It looks like you still have the sticker of like how many tanks and how many gallons. It's so nice, and there's no there's not a lot of artwork on it. Mine is like it's like a refrigerator from Beirut after a war. You go in there, there's avocados from 1968. There's that's very clean.
Yeah, we put all our artwork on the side. I don't know if you can see
I
that.
see it now.
Yeah. I don't like because I like keeping it clean on the steel front.
It looks nice, clean.
Well,
Very nice.
thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm trying to teach her to ride without training wheels and she gets so frustrated, but that's life, man. Kids are gonna get frustrated and just don't snap on them, Nuno. Please don't.
I don't snap on children. All right. But
No.
adults, I have to say, like one time, and the guy was right. Like usually they're right? Not always, but like one time I was wearing tight pants, tight suit guy. And the guy's like, "Hey, I can see your socks. Did you know that?" Yeah, I knew that. I wore it for like this for a reason. Yeah, I wore it. And I wanted to go up to him, and Willie, my photographer who passed away last week or 2 weeks ago almost now, was like, "David, don't," because he knows I have to respond. I just like to respond. I'm not going to be mean. I'm just going to answer the question. Yes, I am aware my pantsuits are tight and you can see my socks. It is a style. I'm aware.
So I was thinking about that. Like when I look at it, because I went through a phase just a couple of months ago. What was January? So whatever. Where I put on a pair of pants and I was like, oh my gosh, these aren't tapered enough for me. So I got all my pants re-tapered, showing my ankle, all my suits redid. So I was thinking, man, if I ever get on TV and I'm wearing the suits that I normally wear, Nuno, if I ever like for whatever reason they're like, hey, Raheel, we want to see your whole suit. I'm gonna get roasted by everyone because I like showing ankle.
Yeah,
I like a
I do
tight pant.
too.
I like a
It doesn't look
sweatpant
good on
almost.
TV unless you're a celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
You are a celebrity, David.
Come on, bro. Like unless you're like Dwayne Wade.
You're
All right, that's the only time.
you're the
But
sixth most recognizable sports person in the city of Houston.
let's do the math.
Okay, number one,
Granado and Berman are probably one, right?
yes.
All right.
Berman one, Granado two.
I'm gonna go Granado one.
Okay, Granado one. Let's go TV only. Let's go TV only.
No, because then if you promote other people from another station, I get fired. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's see. I know, but let's put it this way: in a media television battle royal with sports personalities, I'm winning it. Slovak would probably finish second.
Okay, but not including former players.
Are they on TV? Like who? Yeah, I'm talking normal people.
Okay, normal people. Yeah, like I'm thinking if ND Kalu was part of this, he would crush all of us, right? Because
actually, you know what? Andy, who runs a lot, I follow him on Strava. He can run. He wouldn't catch me. He wouldn't catch me.
But he was pretty fast too, dude.
Yeah, but that was 14 years ago he played.
He's still active.
Yeah, too. Cook is active still too. All right. So yes, we've done this on the radio before.
Non-professional
athlete, radio personalities, and TV personalities. Okay. Well, let's just start with TV.
Okay.
And GB's calling me, so I'm probably in trouble. Probably fired. Greg Bailey. I'll call him back here in a minute. But yeah,
I think you would win. TV personality, I think you win.
No one.
Okay.
And I'm good friends with Daniel Gotera. Gotera's my buddy, right?
Yeah. No, you beat Gotera.
Yes.
Okay. I love. By the way, Daniel Gotera, great guy. His wife Rashi, the nicest people. They both of them sent me really nice messages, so thank you to them.
Daniel and I talked superheroes all the time, like all the time. Like that's my. I sit next to him at almost every Texans game. It used to be you, Raheel. Thanks for staying in radio.
Yeah.
So Daniel, no. Randy, no.
No, I love Randy.
Ari, no. Berman, no. Live Station, no.
Okay, but what if Berman? It said that you tell Berman before the Royal Rumble started, and you said, "Hey, if you beat David Nuno, you get the scoop on the Texas Southern women's coaching job."
He'd be like the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. He'd find a way. He would. You're right.
Now I'm going to open it up to all TV personalities in the city of Houston. I think
only watch Channel 13.
Chauncey is yoked.
Chauncey would destroy him, and Eric Barajas too.
Yeah, Eric is big.
Yoked. Like he's like, but I'll say this: they ain't catching me.
Your cardio is second to none.
Yeah, and I think I do better than you think. I'm angry. I'm mean. You know, main anchors like those guys, they check their makeup. They like,
makeup.
You know, like, you know, they I'm saying like they're real tough, but like they're not gonna go on the streets. It's
not like Anchorman where you guys all roll up with weapons. That would be sweet.
Oh, dude, my boy Luis, Telemundo would come at me. You got, oh yeah, no, that's
wild.
I don't know. I don't watch. I watch Channel 13. Bob Slovak is the only guy that I think could do some damage.
I forgot to tell you, Bob Slovak called me.
He's a great guy.
He saw the news and he's like, Raheel, I just wanted to talk to you, buddy. I just wanted to talk to you. And Slovak he's been our friend since we moved down here, right? Since 2007. So I consider him a legit friend. Like he's a great guy. But he called me, so it was awesome. I just want to let you know, Slovak called me. You know who didn't call me? Juan Beltran. He didn't call me. Thanks, Juan. I lost my job. Didn't even get a call from you. Thanks a lot, Shrexican. Appreciate it. What happened? Are you in trouble?
No, I'm responding to Greg. He wants to know what the story's called that I'm working on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So as you do that, let me just lay out a few things. Make sure you follow David on Facebook as well at ABC David Nuno, at ABC-13 David Nuno. If you're listening on the audio version of this podcast, you can donate at Raheel Podcast on Venmo. Okay, I think we hit everything with the layoff, and guys, it sucks. I hope things work out, and I'm I'm thinking of everyone that was impacted by this, right? 33 million plus. So, just hopefully it all works out for everyone. And, we really are in this together. So if you guys have any other questions, you can ask. I'm not going to throw shade at anybody, so stop asking. I'm not going to do that. That's not my style. I hope things work out. And that's all I can
would.
say about that.
I'd be throwing shade.
I know you would. I know
No,
you
I
would.
wouldn't. No, I mean, I work there. There's a lot of great people
Mhm.
there that single-handedly put us on some kind of map, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what
Sports
you
map.
think about, right? John Granado changed our life, right?
Mhm.
Lance gave us a platform and he endorsed us. Sean and John, those guys. I'm talking old school.
Yeah.
People still there. Dell. I
Wow.
mean,
Dell, all these guys, man.
yeah.
I saw Dell today.
Did you?
I went to the station. I had to go pick up my stuff because, when you work at a place for
You have a
5 years,
box.
David, I took a bag. I took a bag because I didn't want to waste a box.
How many
And
hugs?
everyone. And I'm thinking, I don't know where you've been. I love you guys, but you might have COVID
COVID.
and I don't want it. You know what?
Oh,
I
I
just
don't
don't
do it.
want it. I don't want it. It's like a hard pass on that. But I
Oh,
went up
hey,
there. I had to teach somebody how to do my job because I was doing the marketing stuff too and digital side. So I went up there and was teaching her, and it was hard, man. It was hard saying goodbye after 5 years almost.
well, 5 years. I mean, combine the two times there. That's much more than 5 years, right?
Yeah, but I mean I had 4 years in between there
Was it that
almost.
long?
Yeah, from 2010 or 2011 until 15. Yeah, almost 4 years.
Gosh, bro. So I've
I
been at
know.
13 for 8 years.
Yeah, that's
Right.
when you and I both left about the same
Yeah.
time. So, yeah, I'm wishing them the best of luck, man. I'm just rooting for them because it could still get bad, man. And I hope there are no more layoffs and all that stuff. So, thinking of them. Hey, stuff you worked on this week because you're on this podcast. I want you to promote your stuff as well. I saw your story on the Alpha Athlete gym. So my
Alpha Elite. Yeah, Alpha
Alpha
Elite
League,
Gym.
Alpha
Yeah.
League. See, I'm not even cool enough to say it.
Oh,
My cousin
you know,
works out there. She loves it.
oh,
It's an
dude, that place.
Instagram gym. That's what it is.
It is, and they're building now this hotel slash palace. So yeah, I did two bodybuilder, excuse me, if you will, stories. One on a guy named Jason Parrish,
Mhm.
who had cancer and he beat it, and he has become a competitive bodybuilder, and he worked out with his wife, and just how he's just so driven. I did both of those on the same day, and I separated them through a couple of days on air. That was one awesome story. I got to meet, see I'm fascinated by the world of bodybuilding. Raheel, it's kind of like I'm in the triathlon world. You have your worlds. We all have like these things that we're like really passionate about, and the methodology behind it,
Mhm.
how meticulous and how much the weighing of ounces of foods and 6 a.m. doing this kind of workout. There's a lot of parallels between the worlds. So I started doing some investigation on it, and I just found Alpha Elite Gym, which I wish I would have known about beforehand because it's in Sugar Land. It's that far, so Stafford. And Christian, who is the main guy there, Christian Guzman, he basically started online, right?
Mhm.
He was 140 pounds in high school, skinny guy, got into fitness, and he started putting his workouts and documenting all his passions on YouTube. The dude turned that into his gym, Alpha Elite. He's got 1,000,005 followers on
Yeah.
Instagram, millions of followers on YouTube, all here in Houston. And he built his gym basically online. And now Alpha Elite Gym, he's going on his sixth move, is moving down the street from where they are in Stafford, closer to the Missouri City side. He's going to have 3 gyms come October. One is going to be like like one of those luxurious style gyms.
Mhm.
One's going to be a bodybuilder gym like he has at Alpha Elite, no AC. And then one's going to be a smaller version of that one that's going to be even more cutthroat. Plus, they're going to have a hotel and a restaurant, and all this vision he created from a social media presence. And it just shows you like people are hustling in different ways that we've never thought of before. I mean, and then the other cool thing that I did yesterday, I'm working on the story today, and you're keeping me from that story, so thanks, Raheel, is Daryl Colbert, who played high school at Lamar. He played college ball at SMU. He also played at Lamar University. He's become like this quarterback guru here in town. And yesterday I went to, my buddy Chris Hardiman, Cedric's son. He invited me to go watch these guys work out, and he told me there'll be some big names there. Sometimes they tell you there's going to be big names there. Yeah, whatever, right? I showed up there. Kyle Trask, Florida quarterback, is working out. De'Aaron King, obviously the quarterback at the University of Miami, is working out. A couple high school big names all working out. They're all working out there. And I forgot for a moment, I covered De'Aaron and Kyle together when they were at Manville. Can you believe that?
What? You really did?
Oh, yeah. And De'Aaron and I talk about that all the time. I have followed De'Aaron's career since he was like 16, right? And he's not one of the names you hear sometimes mentioned for the Heisman, right? He has the last 3 years. But, like, he was the starting quarterback at Manville. Kyle was his backup. Think about that chain of command that they had there.
Yeah.
Their offensive coordinator was Coach Butler. Coach Butler is the head coach at Shadow Creek. They just won the state championship. So, like, they were all there yesterday. So I'm working on that story. Colbert's doing some great work. That's been the cool part is I told you last week on the video podcast that didn't air that we tried to do that was terrible. One of the things that Channel 13, I think, has done a really good job of doing is we've been delivering sports news as if there's still sports going on. Because we found some cool things. So, like, if it's a couple weeks ago with the Footwork King or Justin Allen and his guys, or if it's, what I did yesterday with Daryl, there's a lot of Houston is still, like, when we were kids, we talked about athletes love living in Houston. It's true. They still love coming here, especially in the off season.
It is cool to see that, of course, we would love to have sports. We'd love to have the Astros and the Rockets in the playoffs right now and all that stuff. But one of the positives from this, and you and I always focus on the positive regarding everything that's happened, is you get a chance to give light to stories that you might normally not get a chance to. And frankly, that started, way before at ABC-13, where, you guys are doing a lot of the localish stuff where you're going into communities and getting these great stories out there that normally might be lost in that shuffle of the day-to-day grind, and you've got big events to cover. It has been cool to watch you guys do that in sports and across the board at ABC-13, where the local communities are getting more shine, and specifically in those local communities, the smaller stories, right? So it's not just no longer, hey, downtown is only known for business buildings. Downtown has a cool scene of food, organic cupcakes. Juan will cover that, of course, but it's been really cool to see that as one of the positives from this pandemic.
Speaking of Juan, he's come a long way. Juan Beltran, from the days of the Shrexican. Mm-hmm. But I always think about those first few workouts we had with him and running the stairs at Gal Complex, and then one day asking him, "Hey, how are you doing on your diet?" "I'm doing good." "When's the last time you had candy?" "Oh, months. I don't know." "Really?" And then I find a candy bar, like the wrapper, in the stairs, and we were the only ones that used that stair. And I go, "Is this yours?" "Oh, yeah." Oh, he's come a long way, competing in 4 half Ironman since then, or 3, whatever it is.
He's come so long that I'm afraid to run in sprint triathlons against him because I don't want to lose.
Bro, don't. Like seriously. Well, first off, we who knows when we'll have a triathlon again. I doubt we'll have one this summer, but do it. Because if you lose, which wouldn't happen, it would be the greatest talking point in my life. Okay. Nope. Secondly, it'd be his biggest accomplishment ever. Okay. This guy's been hired at Channel 13, right? This would be even bigger than that. And but the chances of that happening, you could go in reverse on your bike and still beat him. And that dude works hard, and he's got some endurance. But he's funny, man. And I love Juan. He is literally family. My kids think of him as family.
Yeah.
He posts his running times often when he doesn't run with me. And I've always wondered, how is he always 20 to 30 seconds faster per mile when he's not with me? Every time. The other day, he ran 6 miles at a 9:14 pace. That never happens with me.
But the numbers don't lie on these apps now.
They don't lie, but I think he does this move. He'll never admit it. He does this move. Stop, drink water, stretch, talk on the phone, run. That's what I think he does.
Dude, I ran 3. So for my 35th birthday, yeah, I was 35.
35?
35. 35, dude. You met me when I was 22. So is that right? Does that add up? Yes, it adds up.
I don't know. Whatever.
Who knows? We're old. So I did a 35 workout. So I did 35 of everything, right? And I ended the whole thing with a 3.5 mile run. And David, I haven't run a mile, I would say, since maybe beginning of March.
Okay.
So I went and did it, and it was like I was so excited to post this workout and be like, 35 workout, and I did 3.5 miles. My time was so bad, I was embarrassed to post it.
Okay, how bad was it?
I'll show you. Hold on.
Like 11-minute, 12-minute bad, or
No,
like
no, no. Come on,
oh,
man. Come
so
on.
you're humble bragging, man. You're like like
No, no, no. It was bad. You like you've known me. Like my
you
worst is like 7.5 if I'm running.
if you're just doing 1 mile or you're doing three.
No, like 3 miles. Like
Oh,
I'm really good at that. I like
oh my
remember
goodness.
the
Yeah.
triathlon numbers. I made up a lot of ground on the run because I'm good at that. My endurance is built for that, right? So this one, let me go. I'm going to my birthday. I'm going to my workout.
So you're saying this. I haven't run very much during COVID because I've been focusing on strength training, even though there's no weights. Um, but I'm just a terrible runner. So when I hear 7-minute miles, like most people who run do, like that's like Justin Sternberg, who I work with, 7-minute mile, he does it like with a blindfold. I'm like, bro, I wish. My kids, Christian and Cruz, I
Yeah.
went. Did I tell you this story?
No.
Okay. So my kids are like pretty fast for 11-year-olds. We went and ran 6 miles the other day. They were fine. We ran 3.5, 4 miles the other day. Christian Cruz's last mile was 6:36. Yeah, and like they felt sorry for me because I have two Garmins. I have mine and my old one. So Christian wears or Cruz will wear whoever, and we run. And I'm like, just keep going, guys. I'll meet you at the house. 6:36, no problem. Just like I could have
36.
gone fast. Yeah, 11 years old, bro. Like and like
Ooh.
so those stories you always hear about. When did you know? Like the first time I dumped on my dad, I was 16. My kids are doing that to me at 11. They're 11. They're going to be 12 for all those 15, 60 listeners in June. They are 11 running 6:36 miles in the heat. Like, it was not
Oh
a cold
man.
day. Like, no, whatever.
I did. Okay, I'm looking at it. I don't know. You guys won't be able to see it on camera, but let's see. Officially, I did 9:39 a mile.
Not bad. Did you have to stop in between?
Horrible. No, I never stopped. I promised myself I wouldn't stop. There was times where I came to a light jog, but I didn't stop.
I hate and love running. I have a love-hate relationship with it because every time I've ever run in my life, I think I've had runner's high once or twice in my life, and it was a fake runner's high. Like, oh, it felt good. But every time I run, the first 2 to 3 minutes of the run, I think it is the worst moments of my life. I'm like, why the heck did I decide to do this? This is not fun. Like, there's nothing fun about it. Then when you get in your groove and you start listening to your podcast or you start thinking, whatever, then it becomes, therapeutic, if you will. But those first few minutes, and then if you make up your mind that you're only going to run 4, that last quarter mile, even though you may have more in the tank, it's really hard to go another
Yeah,
mile or two, right?
yeah.
Once you make up your mind, I'm going to do 6. You get to mile 4 and you're like, man, I don't think I got more. You don't. But if you shoot for more, you will.
That's why I love running Memorial Park because I know when I hit the tennis courts that I only have 2 more minutes left of running. Like that helps so much instead of looking at my watch and getting the buzz like, hey, I'm only on 2 miles. But yeah, I mean, everyone's cardio I'm sure has dropped if you are a workout warrior and all that. But yeah, I just want to let you know that my miles, like I can't even make up ground right now on Juan if we did a sprint triathlon ever. So I'll train for the next one and hopefully do it. Look, we're about to hit a mark here. You gotta get going. So let me rapid
Yeah, I'm
fire
going
you
to get
some
fired.
stories. I know I don't want you to get fired because then you and I will do a podcast every day because we both have free time.
No, no,
Uh,
let me go ahead and tell you. That's the difference between you and I. I get fired one day. This is going to happen to all of us, right?
yeah.
I'm going straight to the gym. I am becoming a fake 50-year-old bodybuilder guy. There's going to be no, podcast. It'll be at the gym. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go to soccer practice. That's it. I'm going to be unemployed, homeless, but that's what I'm not doing a podcast.
You gonna get a
Just,
fake tan? Are you gonna get
oh,
a muscle man tan?
I'll get a muscle man tan. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
those are the
Oh, yeah.
worst.
I'm going
I
to get one.
Please, everyone, stop getting tans. Okay, the Earl Thomas story. We talked about it. It's the craziest story in the NFL. I'm not going to ask you questions about it because I don't want you to get fired. But if we were doing a radio show where we were both employed by the same company and ABC-13 wouldn't get mad at me for asking you, we would have probably 40 minutes worth of content from the Earl Thomas story. But we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I know that everybody expects the old David from the Hoffy show, like the Howard Stern stuff we used to do.
I'll just text Alex and be like, Alex, has this ever happened to you and David? That's it. And he's gonna
If you text my brother that,
he will
not only block
Bible
you,
verse back.
he'll send you a Bible verse. That's a fact. All right. He will call me like, the heck is Raheel thinking? What is he thinking? Why is he texting me this? Fact. So no, don't do that.
I don't think I've been in a swimming pool with my brother in the last 10 years.
I have, but we have kids. You're like, well, you guys have kids, so you can do that.
No, my brother doesn't have a kid. It'd be odd if I was like.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
In what other situation would you see your brother shirtless?
Bodybuilding competition.
Okay, I'm doing a rewatch of Breaking Bad. I'm on season 4 right now, episode 6. I want to ask you a question because you're a huge Breaking Bad fan. Yep. We actually gained a lot of traction from this. The tweet that you put out of me about Better Call Saul, me stating that
you had a lot of people who are on the same page. Yeah,
and now national media people are saying the same thing. I'm watching Breaking Bad, and I just wanted a few notes and a question for you. Okay, a few notes. Everyone watching Better Call Saul, everyone's like, it's a little slow. Breaking Bad on the second watch for me, it's just like Better Call Saul. It's not as fast as I remembered. I remember Breaking Bad being like every episode was packed and there was no downtime. There's a lot of slow moments in this show as well, but the acting is so brilliant. It's so good. And Skyler on second watch, she's not as annoying. She's not as annoying,
dude. What is it about Skyler, Adrian Balboa, Connie? What was it? Connie, her name, right?
Which one?
What was Edie Falco's name on The Sopranos? Was it Connie?
I didn't watch The Sopranos.
No, Connie was Connie Corleone. That was Michael's sister. Just come on, please.
Maybe
stop.
That's why I got fired from sports radio is because I didn't watch The Sopranos.
You never watched The Sopranos?
No, no interest. The
mob
stuff no interest for me.
I used to love the mob stuff, but then I feel like everybody was talking about it, so I jumped out. As for Breaking Bad, I have no recall, Raheel. I've realized every show that I watch, unless you give me a 13-minute preview of what happened in prior seasons, I just finished Homeland recently. I forgot 97% of who everybody is. Like, who's this terrorist now, and who's this? Like, I know Saul, and I know what's her name? God,
Carrie.
I can't remember. Carrie, yeah, Carrie. But everybody else I forget. And even Breaking Saul, the Saul show, Better Call Saul. I love that show. I haven't seen the newest season. I feel like I need a tutorial because I can't remember any. My life is too cluttered to remember things now.
That's the thing. There's so much to watch, and we watch so much and take in so much information now. There is that overload for everybody. I'm with you. I don't remember. I'm watching on the rewatch. I'm like, oh, I don't even remember this. I don't remember this scene. I don't remember that episode. I don't remember this big moment. We forget a lot of stuff, man, because we're taking in. That's one of the counterproductive things of being in this age of information where we can get anything we want, anytime we want. It's that we're also running out of memory ourselves. I tried memory books. I've tried all this. No, it's just too much information. Way too much information.
I want to say this real quick. God, were we so wrong about The Last Skywalker when we walked out of the theater? I watched it.
We loved it.
Oh, we walked it. It might be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you rewatch it? What'd you think?
Yeah, the kids had it on the other day, and they liked it. It's just there's so many plot holes in that movie. So many. Now, it's still a beautiful story. But I didn't have the same feeling when I walked out that I have now. But I watched Rogue One the other day. That's still fantastic. Still good.
Rogue One is awesome still. I'm gonna rewatch it because she didn't finish that one, so I'll let you know. I'll report back on that one.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's just I walked out of there thinking I just saw them remake movie history. Wow. And the funny part is when I left Batman versus Superman, I was like, this wasn't bad at all. This is pretty good. That is a terrible movie. And Justice League might be the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. There's been some bad ones.
Justice League isn't as bad as you're making it out to be.
Oh, Justice
League. I had it on the other day on TNT, and maybe the commercial breaks broke up the how bad it was. Cyborg was horrible in it. Okay, he was bad. Okay, he was bad. But the rest of the movie was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Justice League?
I liked it.
So
I still like it.
Let me tell you how we differ. My idol outside of Jesus Christ, excuse me, is Batman, right? Like to me, Batman is where it's at. If I could be a vigilante in the neighborhood, I would. Okay, like I would chase down people.
Everyone. Yeah.
Hey, there's no doubt.
Down.
Yeah,
slow down.
I do it. Slow down. I do it all the time. My kids are like, "Why are you fighting with the neighbors, Dad?"
Where's the mail?
Stop at the stop sign. Okay, so where's the stop sign? So like if for them to take an iconic figure like Batman and dumb him down and make him so soft and make him so like, oh, Superman's gone, and not be a leader, and then says, you know what, Wonder Woman, you be the leader. I'm just going to sit here and talk really soft. You ruined a great character. DC revolves around Batman.
Yeah.
If Batman doesn't work, it doesn't work. Now, the Joker was phenomenal in his own kind of sense, right? You don't make Bruce Wayne so bad. Sorry.
Okay.
Get off my soapbox.
Fair statement. My question for you for Breaking Bad, if you could take any character and that character's story arc, who are you taking?
Like for myself?
Yeah. If I said, hey, your life is about to become Breaking Bad, knowing everything you know, whose story arc are you taking? You've got Walter White, who ends up dying in the gunfight. You've got Jesse, who went through hell and has emotional and physical damage, but he gets away at the end of the day.
Right.
If you watched El Camino, you've got Saul Goodman, who just kind of runs away, but a lot of stress. Mike, who dies. Gus Fring, who gets blown up. A lot of different characters. Whose arc are you taking?
Man, you've got one in your back pocket. You're gonna pull out on me and be like, "Ta-da!" And like, hey, you gave a good thought. Let me think.
I don't have one either. Skyler, do you want to be Skyler? But then you're Skyler.
I'm a man. Saul, kind of, but nice. No.
He's such a sleaze bag.
But he's not on Saul. I don't know if in the final season he gets to that, but this last one. But like, he's two different people in that show, right? Like the two shows. Tuco's no.
Tuco's dead.
Yeah. The son, no, I didn't like him either.
No. Hector Salamanca, you're stuck on a wheelchair doing the bell thing. You were poisoned by Nacho in Better Call Saul.
I gotta go Walter.
Okay.
I gotta go Walter. I mean, I'd be a better father. There's no doubt about that. But like, yeah, I think Walter. At least he was smart.
Okay, you ready for God, you know me so well. Are you ready for my my wild card?
Pow!
Skinny Pete.
Oh, Skinny Pete. Definitely on track.
Unscathed.
And he's funny. He's really
he got
good.
A bunch of money, I think.
Yeah, no, Skinny Pete's good. And he was loyal. Very loyal.
Yeah, very loyal. I love you, man. He at the end.
What's the other dude's name with the hair?
Badger? No, Badger. Yeah, was it Badger? Yeah, Badger.
He didn't die though, right?
He didn't die either. No.
Yeah.
Skinny Pete might be the guy, but the issue with Skinny Pete is you'd always look like you were on meth.
Yeah, he looks terrible. He's not a healthy looking human being.
Okay, so that was my Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad question for you. I had one more thing for you. Let me pull up my little notes here because I don't want to miss it.
You better hurry because I'm about to get fired.
Okay, no thoughts on the Texans schedule. Well, you guys listen to sports radio for that.
Like, here's my thing about that. Like, we don't know. Nobody knows.
No.
I can see him going 0-7. They'll go 3-1 to start the year. Some teams are going to be better. Some teams are going to be worse. And I don't even know if we're going to have the NFL. So there you go.
Boom. Jay Cutler's divorce. Is Jay Cutler finally coming off as a good guy in all of this?
That would be. So I don't know much about. See, you love like Entertainment Tonight.
I love it.
You're an Entertainment Tonight
Ideally,
guy.
I would be hosting Entertainment Tonight. So Entertainment Tonight, if the producers and talent agents are watching, I would love to host Entertainment Tonight. Put him on speaker.
Hold on.
Juan Beltran is calling for those of you listening on the audio side. Juan, you're on the podcast. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Juan.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, can I finish this podcast and call you in 2 minutes?
Oh, sorry. I think you guys were done. All right, bye.
Everybody's listening to you. All right.
Jay Cutler, he's coming off the best. So that's my little note for you. If you haven't been keeping up, man.
I know that he and his
it.
wife are splitting up. They had the show together.
Yeah.
What they call Keeping Up with the Cavaliers or something like that.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
Never watched it either. My wife has it on every once in a while.
Let me go ahead and just end it with this. I don't watch reality TV. Sometimes the kids will put on like they love The Biggest Loser right now. They're watching that, but sometimes they'll watch Simon Cowell show, the British version of that show though, whatever it's called, like the outtakes. I don't know if you ever watched it on YouTube. Like that's about the extent of my reality TV. I don't care. All right, it's just not my thing.
We'll end it on that. Follow David on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, ABC-13 David Nuno. You can find all his work and all his stories on all social media platforms. And more importantly, watch the local news. Support your local news channel, ABC-13, or Channel 13, ABC-13. Make sure you're watching them. They're doing a lot of great stories regarding our communities and COVID-19. And, of course, keeping up with sports. Make sure you're watching David Nuno.
Did you write that?
No, that's just a freestyle, baby.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah.
You sound like an announcer guy. That's good.
Come on. I'm a former radio professional. David,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been 2 days. Well, thank you so much, man. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And make sure you subscribe. Share this podcast with your friends as well. If you're listening on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please share it with them. Let's get these numbers up. And if you would like to donate, at Raheel Podcast on Venmo. That's the only way you can donate because I'm not creating more accounts for anything. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching as well on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook, The Raheel Show Podcast. We will talk to you next time. David, later, buddy.
Godspeed, little buddy. I'm going to hang up now because I got actual stuff to do.
All right. Talk to you later.
Godspeed.